Hi Capricorn, happy February. This is a lovely reading. For some of you, I think, again, just like Cancer, you're not going to see it coming here. But I think that it's a time and a place that's meant a lot of things here. What the work that you need to do, and I can already tell on here, is internal work, right? For some of you, I think you're playing that game that we all do. I'm stuck in this shitty job because I have to be, right? But what's happening here is you don't see it yet, but great things are aligning for you. I think you're just held under that old belief system, but I have every card out here that tells me that you're working on it, whether you feel it or not, because I think what happens here is sometimes karma will come in, right? And let's just be honest, karma is not an eye for an eye. I've discussed that. That's the natural order of things, which already sits in here too. You've got this, okay? So you've got everything working for you. The only thing that could possibly be working against you is you, okay? Now, karma is the things, the repetitive, numb things that we tell ourselves. I can't do this. I have to keep this job. I have to stay married. I have to stay in this relationship, right? All of that kind of stuff, which on the surface, yeah, we all have responsibilities, but we're not going to be held hostage to them unless we're not willing to move a mountain to get ourselves out of them, right? You're doing the internal work here to get yourself out of this. I see success coming in here. I think some of you are getting promotions, starting your own companies, getting new jobs. I think you feel stuck. I think like you feel you wasted time. For some of you, you're dealing with things on the home front that you're telling yourself that story too. Like, I have to stay in this no matter how ridiculous it is. I just can't get myself out of it. I've got responsibilities. I've got kids. I've got this. You're finagling your life in a direction here where everything is copacetic for everyone involved here. For others of you, you're trying to balance, you know, I'm a workaholic. I acknowledge that. You know, now I want to be able to have a little bit more time for my friends and my family and this and that. For some of you, you're having children and you're going to need to put more time on the home front. Just you need to, but you're changing. You know, the things you want, desire, and are willing to put your mind and energy into are changing, right? Okay. And things are clearing for you too. Things that you think, you know, I don't have enough money to buy this house I really wanted. Now the house of your dreams comes on the market, and what do you know? I've got the money now. It comes through somewhere. I get a promotion. I get a loan. I get something I've been trying to get. You know, I have something I can sell. Whatever. Life is really good right now. I know you don't feel that though, but I see it here. For some of you, you're leaving one relationship and going to another. For some of you, you're leaving one job and going to another, and you're stepping into leadership positions, which is where you need to be. So if you're not working in a leadership position in anything, and that's just you showing up, at the base of that, it's you showing up, doing the best that you're doing. So if that's what you're doing and you're thinking, I always get overlooked here, I'm bored here, this, that's about to change here, right? But the internal work here that I see, there's 3 cards here that tell me you're doing it. So whether you realize it or are conscious of it, you're doing it. You're getting rid of that nonsense. It's more about, you know what, if they can do it, so can I. I know what I'm built on, and it's that kind of stuff, right? That's what clears karma. When we realize, no, I am good enough. I am going to invest my time in this. I realize I've made shitty decisions in the past, and they probably have held me back. I'm human, but I acknowledge it now, and I'm going to do something different. We all have these things, my friends. We do, okay? We've got the 7 of Cups here, which is choices. These are all parts of yourself. So accept all of these things. And that's part of what I think you're doing too. You know, I may not be perfect, but I'm perfectly flawed, and that's good for me. You know, you have your own unique spin on something here, and you're finally accepting yourself. That's a huge deal. Okay. It's also a card of children. So that could be a surprise, right? I think that this boredom or this not being happy or complacent could change very, very soon. And it could be where too, you know what, now I'm not getting a lot of sleep. Now I need to shift my work. That's what I was getting, and I just didn't really look at the cards yet. Okay. The 4 of Cups. When the music changes, so does the dance. Okay. And that's what you've got to do. If you're bored somewhere, you know, figure out why you're bored. Go do something else. Incorporate something else into this. But this is also, I feel in here, you're not bored. I think you're checking in with yourself. You've got a lot of cards of doing internal work here. Huge, huge things that we, you know, we don't always want to look at. You know, those kind of things here. For some of you, you've got relationships that are a little bit rocky here, and I think that you're realizing that this is just going to remain rocky. Or for some of you, you're realizing the parts that you've played in this. For some of you, you're open to the validity of things maybe that your partner's been saying to you. Now you know, or vice versa, either of the two. So some relationships I think are really going to solidify in a very strong way. Other ones are dissipating because it's time, and another one sits right here, okay? So you've got the Wheel of Fortune. Things are changing, okay? All right, now your foundation here, and I'm doing it only this month this way because I want to get us all on our own solid feet, right? Our own solid foundation here. That's what you're building. Brick by brick, you're building a solid foundation here. So you're starting from scratch anyway, right? You're building on this. And then the things that you're doing now that are solidifying this, and then your objective here, where you're trying to go, which can be tweaked along the way. Life is not written in stone, okay? So don't hold yourself to such strong, hard regards here. You know what I mean? All right, now your foundation is the Ace of Wands, desire, passion, wanting to do something new. Whatever this is, there's success in this card. There's ambition in this card. There's opportunity in this card. There is, I cannot wait to get out of the gate with this card. So if you've not been feeling well, not had the energy to do something, that vitality is coming back too. Okay, now the Six of Cups is... it's just saying too, you know what, I need to look at some stuff in here. This could be a relationship that's kind of rocky. It can be with family members, a relationship with you're in. It could be on a family front. It could be in a work front. You could be having issues with somebody here that is going to be resolved here because you're looking at better things. Maybe you've got trouble on the home front because the finances aren't there, or this isn't there, or this isn't there. You're tweaking these things. You're going to find what works for that. And for some of you, you're kind of like calling a ceasefire, basically. You know, for others of you too, you're very, very grateful that even though you've been through a lot in your life, you're very grateful of where you're at, how you did things. You know, this is kind of like, the picture doesn't do it justice in here, but it says that, you know, there's things going on within relationship dynamics that are changing. You're doing an awful lot of internal work here. So this is something where you either realize where you've held yourself back and settled, right? Like you've settled for relationships that weren't really what you wanted. You've settled for jobs that weren't really what you wanted because you either allowed someone to, you know, enforce these things upon you. You know, stay in that position because you have to support this. You can do it all here, but I think whatever it is, you're busting out of something here. Now you've got the King of Swords here. These are your foundational cards. The Ace of Wands, the Six of Cups, the King of Swords, and you've got the King of Coins in here. So this new position, this idea, this job, this leverage up, whatever, is going to bring in financial gain here. You've just got to settle and know that you can do this and not be, you've got to work up to your potential. So if this is you not doing as much as you can do, you need to step that game up, and you will. You know what I mean? You're doing the work inside. So this reading is not me saying you've got some work to do. You're already doing it and you're aware of it. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprising you. And what this is doing too is it's aligning you to be able to go in a different direction. You're going in a new direction here. You're building something. You could be an architect. You could be, you know, doing something like that. You could be renovating your home, but you're not running out of time. Okay? And what that's going to is the Eight of Wands, success card. But this is a card of divine timing. These are both cards of divine timing. The universe is going to wait and offer you opportunities once you step back into your life, and that's what you're doing. You're looking at the things that don't work, don't excite you, don't get you moving. It's like dead in the water, you know, stale water. Okay? So that's what you're doing. Now, how you're doing this, you've got the Six of Wands, which is a success card. It's recognition. You're going to be stepping into something here. This can be, you know what, I had to talk to someone on my home front here because this is just not working anymore. We need to figure out a better way to work this. We need to put everything on the table, or we need to decide that, you know, maybe I need to walk away or do something here. I'm not going to lie. Those things are in here too. But I'm telling you, you've got divine timing in here. So if these things are dissipating, they're dissipating to bring you bigger things, to bring you things that fit you. You know what I'm saying? We all often think, well, if this falls apart, the happily ever after, that's in the moment. You know what I mean? But what you're doing is you're leaving one thing to go on to something that is giving life now. You know what I mean? For some of you, you are having children, but your main focal in here is the Four of Coins, and it's clearing blockages here. But what that's doing is it's bringing you right to this, right? Which is your kingdom. You're on solid ground. This is a solid plan that you're working on. You're working on something that you're thinking, am I crazy to be starting this right now? No, you're not, because what it's going to bring you is this. The king and the castle. Right? And your emotions are in check here. You're doing things slow, steady, precise. You know what you're doing here. This is pretty big. This is a big jump in your career. This is a big jump on your home front too. But you're clearing things away. You're basically, what you're doing is, what do I value, what don't I value? On all fronts, right? Time, energy, resources, people, my family, my health, you know. That's what you're doing. Now, I want to say, I'm not going to say that we don't get through these patterns that have been ingrained in us forever, instantly. And we have relapses and we fall back. And this goes for any kind of addiction as well, too. And addiction is just something that is out of balance for us. It could be one piece of cake opposed to 20. It could be one glass of wine opposed to 20. It could be whatever it is. You're pulling things back into alignment here. But you may have people around you still that, you know, we've always done things like this. Why is it not working now? Well, because one of you is not growing in tandem with the other. And it doesn't mean that that needs to be, but if you're not in a relationship or a job or whatever that's holding space for you to grow, you're not in the right place anymore. You know what I mean? And you've got cards here that say, I'm more than this now. I may have been that at this point, but I'm more than this now. And I accept my shortcomings. And this, for some of you, you're working really hard towards this. Others of you, doors are going to open for you because you are doing the work in here too. Okay, so there's massive change in here. There's a lot of change in here. For some of you, you're debating. You've got, you may have more than one offer in a career. You have more than one offer. But this is where I'm honing in on, because this is what you're doing. You're really reassessing something. And you notice one is inside the castle, one is outside. That's, I've got control over my domain. I've got control over my emotions. I've got control over my health. I've got control over my mind. I've got control over my body. I'm balanced. You know, that's what you're doing. This is very nice. Go watch Cancer's video because it may fill in some of these pieces here. Okay. For some of you, you are in a relationship here that you've got, there's strong relationships in here. These aren't relationships that you're going to meet someone and you're going to know. You're going to know with you're going to know. My grandmother was a big advocate of you'll know who you'll marry in like under a minute or something like that. I don't know. But either way, this, you'll know for sure if this is the quick job for you, if this is the time to do this for you, if you're going to know. And for some of you, you've got great relationships coming in. But others of you, I think you know that, you know, you've got things that you've got to deal with. That's either a company that's subpar to you now or a relationship that's just not growing. You're growing in a different direction now. Things like that need to be looked at here. But there you go.